All right, everyone, we are getting started. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. Hopefully we got that right. I don't like whoop, fall down. Okay, so I am back and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. I am going to adjust my camera. Apologize, I'm trying to get the light behind my head out of the way. Okay, there we go. So welcome everyone. Let me go ahead and get the comments loaded in so that we can see who all's out there in Facebook and YouTube land, and we will get started here shortly. It's 11:58 and we'll start in about let's say 5 minutes, which will be 12:03, and then we will get the show on the road. So come on in, let me know that you're out there. Let me know if this is your first time or if you've been here before. I would greatly appreciate it. And for those that are just joining, or if you're watching the replay, welcome. My name is Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I've been doing this crazy crafting stuff for 12 years. And today it's all about kites and fun. We're going to do a fun fold card. So we'll just give it a few more minutes for those to pop in. If you're watching live, if you don't mind sharing the video, if you are on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube and you're new to my channel, please make sure that you subscribe and click the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video or go live. I greatly appreciate that. And today we are doing our Fundamental Friday, which is a technique class. So I've got a new technique card for you all. You will need to have pen and paper if you want to take measurements. I will probably not be putting together a tutorial, so you can always come back and watch the video as needed. So we'll give it a few more minutes and then I'm going to do some housekeeping and then we will get started. And I just realized I don't think I have my June thing. Let me see. No, I do not. All right, let's see. I don't think I printed out my June tutorial. Well, I think we're just going to have to go with it. I got papers all over. I have got to get in here and start doing some major cleaning. I don't know about y'all, but when you start doing crafting and stuff, your table and work area can be a mess, you know? So anyways, but that's okay. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna be doing some cleaning this afternoon, but I'm glad I'm back and feeling better. That's the main thing. All right, so hopefully everybody will join us here shortly. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wait. It's 12:01. I'm gonna get my goo on and do a little bit of cleaning up my scissors while I'm waiting. And I've got some spots on my tabletop, so we will start. Just let me know when you're if you're out there watching. If you'd like to, you don't have to, but that would be nice. And I'm just going to clean up my crafting scissors that have got a little goo on them, and we'll clean these up so we get a good cutting going on here. I don't know about y'all, but I use my snips for everything. So the Goo Gone is the best stuff to use to get the glue off your table, desktops, scissors, wherever you've got it. It will come off. So sometimes it will take some ink off too. So I'm just going to do a little cleaning while y'all are popping on. Hey Karen Jo, how are you? Hi Shar. Welcome everyone. I've missed you guys. I'm back. Feeling much better, thank you. I'm never going to listen to my husband. You know, it's funny. As an adult, you know, but no, I didn't listen to my damn husband. I said we need to take some masks with us when we go. I'm feeling much better, thanks. And he goes, nah, we don't need any masks. Well, I'm not listening to him anymore. I've already decided I'm going to pack 2 masks in my travel bag so that way I have them. But you know, and then last week they said on the news, I'm sorry, I'm wiping the glue off my desk. You know, the news had mentioned that there's been a spike in COVID coming back. I'm like, oh, figures, right? First time I had it, and all, you know, since it came out in 2020, right? 2020 or 2021. So I've been very fortunate, thank goodness. But anyway, but we had a great time. I haven't gotten all my pictures downloaded because I'm trying to put them in folders for each city that we went into, or each little township, or whatever you call them. So I've got to get that done, but it was absolutely stunning. I know, isn't Gugon awesome? Love it. But anyway, so we had a nice time. It was cold in Norway. I don't know if y'all have been there or not, but it was a beautiful country. Very chilly. I think the high was like 60. So I'm trying to get the camera out. Let me see. Hang on one second. I'm going to adjust this one more time so that light stays behind my head. But we had a nice time. We did a lot of sightseeing each day. The ship pulled in when we were there, and we went on different tours. We stayed 3 days in Amsterdam before we boarded the ship, and then we stayed 3 days in Oslo when we got off the ship. We stayed an additional 3 days. So it was a nice time. It was long. I was ready to come home, but it was nice. We had a great time. Food was excellent. Amazing how the country is so far ahead of the rest of us, let me tell you. They have everything. They're going to all electric cars. They have cars, buses, ships. There's 2 of the smaller fjords that they, I think it's 2026. I could be wrong on that. They're not going to let cruise ships in unless they're battery operated, you know, the electric. And so, and these are little tiny towns too. So I'm not sure what the ramifications are going to be of that, but they're real adamant about their electric vehicles and noise and all that stuff. So, you know, more power to them, right? But it was good. And we found a lot of vegan restaurants. Chuck had done some research and made reservations for lunch for us each time we went into a different town. And we had some really great food. So we've decided now that we need to venture out more in Fort Myers. So every other weekend, I think we're going to do try to find a new vegan restaurant that we can find, but we've got some good recipes and stuff, hopefully. But everything was good, so I'll try to get those photos posted. But the last week, you know, I felt fine until we got on the plane, and then I started feeling like I was getting a sore throat, and I was like, oh my gosh. And we had gone to a museum and went down into it was a replication of the ship that went to the North Pole back in the 70s or 70s, I think it was. And of course, you know, you're going down in all the holes and the down below deck, and there's no air circulation or anything. And I probably picked up the bug from there or on one of the buses that we went on, which is, you know, my own stupid fault. But I felt good thank goodness, until we left. So on the plane, I started getting a sore throat. So when I got home, I thought, well, I had a cold or a sore throat. So I started taking lozenges and cold medicine. And then the next morning I got up, we got home late Tuesday. So that was Wednesday. So Thursday I thought, you know, I better take a COVID test. And sure enough, I got it. My husband didn't, but he got it when we went to Ireland, and he had to stay, and I left. So that was 3 years ago. I think it was. Anyways. All right. So let's go ahead. Oh, she did. I tell you what, and it's, you know, everybody has their own reasons why, but I watched some, what are they, documentaries on Netflix about the animals, and that really turned me off. And I have been a big meat eater my entire life, love steaks. When I first met Chuck, every Sunday he'd make me a ribeye, because I love ribeyes. But after watching all of that, and seeing the difference of the health, how much your health increases and things that by eating vegetarian. And let me tell you what, there is so much plant-based stuff that is meat, that tastes like real meat, and it's not, that I don't even miss meat anymore, not at all. And we'll make, you know, we've got just eggs, so he'll make eggs, and we have bought sausages, and all of this stuff that's all plant-based, and it's healthy. People are finding that diabetes, that, you know, they're losing weight, the diabetes goes away. Now, I've lost weight. I don't need to lose weight. I need to eat more protein, and I need to start exercising. But outside of that, I feel pretty good. But I just love what we're eating. I don't miss the meat whatsoever. Because we found alternative things that equal it. And so I'm really, we're both excited about this new journey. And it may not be for everybody, but that's okay, you know. So yeah, you make stuff from scratch, you know, like who would have thought you can whip up cashews and a few other items and make yogurt or mayonnaise or whatever. It's just amazing. I found a recipe, and then we'll get started. You take watermelon, you can slice it, and you marinate it for so many hours in different seasonings, and then you bake it in the oven, and it's like sushi. And now, you would think that the watermelon would be watery, right? It would disappear. Nope. It is unbelievable. So if your daughter doesn't have that recipe, I'll send it to you, Karen. And chickpeas, it's unbelievable. So, all right, enough of the vegan or vegetarian. Anyways, so welcome everyone. I'm Dawn Duvall. I just want to go over a few things that's coming up. We've got 2 more days in the month that all of our stamps and bundles are 10% off, an additional 10% off. So on our bundles, which are already reduced 10%, you'll get a 20% discount. So make sure this weekend you take a look at any of the stamp sets or bundles that you might want to have and take advantage of that 10 or 20% discount. And then starting July 3rd, we are going to start back with bonus days. And if you all have been around for any length of time, you'll know that for every $50 you spend during the month of July, you're going to get a $5 coupon that's going to be emailed to you. Now, I would highly encourage you to make a folder that says bonus coupons and put your emails in there, because if you lose or delete the email that has your coupon in it, Stampin' Up! Is not keeping track of these things, so you will not, they will not be able to replace it. So make sure you put it in a folder that you're going to remember where it is. And those coupons will start being able to be redeemed in August. So for the whole month of July, then you'll get $5 coupon for every $50 that you spend in my online store. All right, so that's that. Now today we are doing Fundamental Friday, and I am going to, we're going to do a kite card. Now I got this from one of our other demonstrators, Tammy White. I'm going to give you all the measurements, so either write it down or you'll have to come back and watch it and then just fast forward. But it's the cutest card. So I'm going to flip the camera down, and we're going to show you, I'm going to be working with the Fluffiest Friends, and of course this does come with 21 dies for our little beaver and our little kitty cats. Or is that a gerbil? I'm not quite sure what that is. That's not a cat. Whatever that. Is that a gerbil? Maybe that's a hamster. And then we got our bear and our other bunny. And it does come with 21 bundles. Now this is an online exclusive, so you can purchase this. Just search it, Fluffiest Friends, on my online store, and it will bring it up, and then you'll get 20% off. And then I'm also using the sentiment, wishing you the happiest birthdays, from the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. So with that being said, let me show you the card. So here is the card that we're going to be making. And then this opens up. See how it looks like a kite? And then we're going to open it up. And there you go with the design. So you can you can write your note in here. You can stamp it with more images, whatever you want for it. And then we'll close it up, and then you open it like a regular card. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. Yep, 4 1/4 by 11. It looks awful big. 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and this is using Pool Party. And we're going to do the same thing for the card that we're going to make. So I'm just going to duplicate this exactly. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side, and actually, I've been trying to figure out how to get this to lay flat, and I'm thinking, just for you all, I'm going to put a glue dot just on the tip right here, just to hold it down. But when you mail it, it should be fine. Hopefully, put something on top of it, and that will hold it in place. All right, so we're going to move that right up here, and how about if I put it right there, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to need, let me go through all of the measurements for you. Let me pull all of my stuff out. I went ahead, oopsie, I forgot to get my stuff to, hang on a minute, I thought I had everything. I forgot to get my markers to color my little, I guess it's a gerbil or hamster, whatever it is. Oh, hang on, forgot to get my, hang on a minute. And we're going to do lights, summer splash. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. Okay, so let's go through our measurements. All right, we're going to need, the base is going to be 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay, and let's pull that in. And then we have another piece, and I'll give you that in just a minute. So we're going to score this at 5 1/2. All right, so that's going to be our card base. We don't need this right now, so we're just going to set this off to the side, okay? And then the next piece we need is going to be, oh, let me see. This one, let's measure it. I think it's 8 inches, but let me just confirm that. No, it's 10. All right, we're going to do 10 inches. So the second piece of your coordinating cardstock is going to be 10 inches by 4. So 10 by 4. And then what we're going to do is we've got to do some measuring on here so that we can this is going to make our kite, okay? So we're going to take the cardstock, and I'll get to these other pieces here in just a minute. So we're going to do one at a time. So we're going to start at our cardstock, and we're going to score it at 3, 5, and 7. So, I'm sorry, we're going to score, pardon me, ignore that. We're going to score it at 5 inches. So we're going to go in half, because half at 10 is going to be 5, right? Okay, so we've scored that. Now, we're going to take, and we're going to measure 3 inches in. So we're going to come up to our 3-inch mark, and I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to make a little dot right here where the 3-inch mark is, and I'm going to do the same thing down here where the cutting track is, all right? So that's our 3 inches. We scored it at 5, and now we're going to move over to 7 inches, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to make our mark right here where the cutting track is with your pencil. Just make a little mark, because we're going to cut this off, okay? All right, so now, and then we're going to turn this around, and we're going to mark this at 2 inches, okay? So we're going to flip it to the 4-inch side, and we're going to mark this at 2 inches. All right, so you're going to mark 2 here at the top, and then you want to come down and mark 2 inches at the bottom, okay? All right, so we've got it scored in half. We've marked it 3 inches top and bottom, and then 7 inches top and bottom, and then we turned it long ways and marked it at 2 inches, okay? Now, we're going to score. We're going to take our 3-inch or 7-inch, whichever way you're looking at it. We're going to take this one, and we're going to score down to this one on the opposite side, all right? So we're going to line this up in the track, and this is why our paper trimmer is good for this, because it allows us the room. So we're going to get our marks lined up. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see that, all right? And then I'll come back out when I get done. So we've got our mark here in the track, and we've got the one down here in the track, all right? So now we're going to use our scoring blade, and we're just going to score those 2 items, okay? So now we have a fold line here. Now we're going to turn our paper, and we're going to do the other side where we have a mark here, and we're going to hold that and then move it over. So we've got a mark down here and the mark up here, and we're going to do the same thing. We want to just score these. Okay. All right. So now we've got those scored. So, and then we have our center part done. And this is going to start creating our kite. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut from this mark. Oh, wait a minute. We got to turn the, yeah, we've got our score lines. So let me just put this down and let's score. So we're going to push this one this way, right? So we're going to fold that way. This is our 5 1/2, so we're going to score that way. fold it, and then this one we're going to fold this way. All right, so that's starting to make our folds for our pop-up piece. All right, and then these we're going to fold out and in. So let's fold this one in, fold that one, this one, and then that one, and then you'll see how this is all going to come together. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and cut this 2-inch mark, and we're going to cut it up to the 3 and the 7-inch point. So this one we're going to cut it from here to here, and then here to here, so we get a point. All right, so we're going to line this up in the trimmer. You with me? All right, so we're going to line that up in the trimmer. We're going to bring this line over. So this is our 2-inch mark, and we're going to cut it down to this side right over here. And then we're going to do that on both sides and both ends. So let me move my paper trimmer. All right, I think I've got it lined up, so we're going to go ahead and cut, and this is going to create the top of our kite. And then we're going to just twist our paper back and do the same thing. So I've got the fold here, and I've got my little mark, and then I'm going to line the tip up right here, and then we're going to start our cut and then cut that down. So now we have our point, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing down at this end. All right, and then these are scraps, so you can do whatever you want with those. So again, we're going to line up the 2-inch mark on the end of the cardstock, bring it over to the score line that we made a little dot, and that's why I said the dots aren't really going to care. You're not going to see them. We're going to cut that one off, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to line it up right there, and then we're going to get this in here so you can see that. I got to move it over just a tad to get that piece right in there where it needs to be, and then we're going to cut that up. Okay, so now we have our piece that we need to make our kite. All right, so we're going to fold this again. We're going to get it all folded. Give me a second. Let me move this out of the way. I'll bring that back in just a minute. All right, so now we are going to push these pieces in. Let's see, these need to come in this way. All right, so we're going to fold these in, fold it down, and then just push it, and then there's your kite. And then you just want to take your bone folder, not my ruler, take your bone folder. I'm going to zoom out, so bear with me 1 second. Whoops, that's in. Hang on. All right, so then we want to just come in and just give a good burnish to the folded pieces. All right, so there's our kite. All right, so that's not too bad. Now see how that works? Hello, Linda. All right, so there you go. All right, so there's our top piece of the card. All right, so we're going to put that off to the side for just a minute, and I'm going to give you some other measurements. All right, now this one I need to trim up. We're going to do our card base. We're going to come back to the card base now. I'm going to trim this because I've got a little bit of some fur, little edges that didn't trim very well. You're going to take, this is a pecan pie, and I'm going to just, this is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to shim off because I've got some, for whatever reason, I've got some slivers here that didn't come off very well. Let me get my, this is my, like a sanding block. And if you have that happen, you just can kind of sand the cardstock to get it smoothed down. You can find these, I guess, in craft stores or in the home, Home Depot or one of those places. All right, so we're gonna do. We're back to the to our base card. So we're gonna do 4 by 5 1/4, and then we're gonna take a piece of designer paper, and you use whatever you've got at home. This happens to be the, oh gosh, I didn't read the name. Oh, it's the Country Woods or something. It's the one that's got all the different wood on the background and then the different colors on the front. This is 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to attach this, and then we're going to place this on the front of our card to the base. So let's go ahead and get this added, and then we'll move forward with the next pieces. Hang on a minute. I just did my glue. Hold on, I got my little pokey tool. Oh, I did have it. Why is it? Hang on. Why is my glue not coming out? I just poked this thing to make sure it was working. Here we go. Hang on a minute. It's been sitting here for a while, and I poked it. Hold on, let me get my pokey tool. Where is it at? I thought it was over here. Hold on. My pokey tool is somewhere. Where did you go? Of course, do you think I lost it? Yep. Hang on a minute. Where's my pokey tool? I have a little stick pin. Well, I know it's here because I just saw the daggone thing. All right, let's get some glue. See if I can get it out. If not, we'll, oh, this is crazy. Because I just squirted a whole bunch out on another card that I was doing. Hang on a minute. All right, we're going to move on to, let's see if this one works. Hold on. There we go. All right, there we go. Now we got some glue. Okay, so we're going to add the, put this over here. Give me a second. All right, so this piece of designer paper we're going to place on our pecan pie. So let's put that right about there. And if you don't want as much cardstock, you can cut these down by 1/8, you know. All right, so that's going to go there. All right, and then we're going to add that to the front of our card base. And this is off just a little bit, but I'll trim it up. So we're going to go ahead and add that here. All right, so we're going to get all of this added, and then we'll do our next bit of cutting, and then we'll do some coloring. And really, once you see how to cut that kite, it's very simple. And these will be fun cards that you can send out. And this could be for an adult, it could be for a child. It doesn't matter, right? We all love fun things, right? It's the thought that counts. Okay, so that's going to be our card base. And then we're going to go ahead and get this design. So that's going to go on top of this once we get done. Okay, so now we're going to decorate this piece here. So I've got a piece of the pecan pie, and I'm going to cut a piece that's going to go under here with a piece of basic white, and I'll give you those measurements, and that's going to be, hang on a minute, let's see. Okay, so this piece is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And we're going to mark this, so we have to pull out our ruler again, or your cutting thing. All right, get your pencil, because we're going to do some marking. All right, so we're going to mark the long side, which is this side, at 2 7/8. So we're going to line up 2 7/8 is the second line from 2 3/4. So we're going to mark that 2 7/8. So I'm just going to place a mark right here. And we're going to put it here. I'm not sure if I need both sides or not. And these will get cut off and you can flip it over, so don't worry about having to erase this. And then we're going to turn it on the short side. And on this side, we're going to mark this at, oh, you know what? Hang on. I just boogered this up. That was, hang on a minute. Yeah, 2 7/8. I'm sorry, 2 7/8. This one on the short side will be 1 7/8. So the same thing, it's going to be the second line after 3/4. So 1 7/8. So we're going to make a mark here. And I'm going to make one down here just so that we have it, okay? So again, we've done 2 7/8 on the long side, and then 1 7/8 on the short side. All right, and then we're going to bring in our white piece and for the inside, and then we'll do our cutting. So this basic white is 4.5 by 3.5, and we're going to cut this, mark this, I'm sorry, 2 3/4 on the long side. So we're going to line it up at 2 3/4. So we're just going to make a little mark there, and we're going to make one here. And then we're going to turn it on the short side, and that one we're going to mark it at 1 3/4. Okay, so we're going to do 1 3/4 like that. All right, so now we can do some cutting. So we're going to come back with our inside piece, and we're going to cut from each diagonal, the corner to the lines, and we're going to cut that, and it's going to give us the like a triangle piece that's going to go inside our card. So I'm going to take this line here, and I'm going to line it up on the long side of that mark right there. Okay, so we're going to bring our paper trimmer, and I'm going to bring it in just a little bit so I can get on top of the cardstock so it doesn't tear. And then we're going to cut that right there. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go from here down to this point. So we're going to hold that and get those lined up in the trimmer just like we did on the other one. All right, so we've got that one cut. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come from here down to there. So we want to make sure we've got that lined up in your trimmer, right in the track. We're going to cut that. And then we're going to do the same thing. This one to this one. Let me see. Yeah, we got to do this one to this one. So we're going to go from here to here. So we're going to cut that. And then that's our, as you can see, it looks like a kite, right? So that's going to be our bottom piece. That's going to go right inside of here. Okay, see that? And then we'll do the same thing for the white. So we'll come in with our basic white, line up our marks, and we're going to cut those. And make sure I got them in there. Just turn them just a tad. Okay, so we're going to cut those. And then do the same thing over here. Line this up. This is the nice thing about using the paper trimmers, because you can get them lined up in the track, and then you know you're getting a good cut, right? All right, and then we're going to do this one. Line this one up to here. So we're going to line that one up right like that. And we're going to cut this one. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line these two up, which will be a little bit out of an angle, not quite, but just enough. And we're going to cut that one, and there you go. Now we have our inside piece where we can write our message or decorate it. And I'm just going to flip this over so you don't see my dots. Okay, so that's all we need to do there. Now I'll hold that off for just a second. Now we're going to come in. You're going to need 2 pieces of coordinating cardstock, and one is going to be at 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then you're going to need a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 square. Okay, and then we need, you can do white. I'm going to do a designer series paper just to cover up, so I'm using the In Colors. So the In Color, this is going to be cut down to 2.5 by 1.5, and then 1.5 by 1.5 square. All right, so then all we're going to do is we're just going to cut these at an angle. So we're going to line these up in our trimmer, and we're going to cut them from corner to corner. Let's see, yeah, but this one doesn't matter, so let's do, this one is going to go, actually, let's see, let's do the right, top right to the left. Let's do it this way, so that way we make sure we get our designer paper cut the right way too. All right, so we're going to cut this at a diagonal. All right, and then this one we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go from the right to the bottom. So this one, you're really, basically we're just cutting this one in half, right down the center. Okay, all right, so we've got those. Now we're going to do the same thing to our designer paper. So I'm going to cut this one like this, put that there. So we're going top right to the bottom left. And you got to be careful with the designer paper, because if you do it backwards, your paper, you'll have to flip it over, so you may have to use the opposite side, which it really doesn't matter, right? And then we're going to do the same thing with this little square, and we're going to cut that in half from corner to corner. Just going to go right on the diagonal, right like that, okay? All right, so now we have all our pieces cut, I believe. So let's move these off. And now we can start putting our card together. So we're going to go ahead and line up our pieces, and we're just going to start gluing all of this stuff together. And we're going to put that there, and we're going to put these little, now it doesn't matter, you can have whichever side of the paper. I want the circles to be on here, so we're going to go with circles. And I think we should be good with, yeah, okay. So make sure you go right to left, otherwise your paper will have to be flipped over. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and add all of these let's glue these down. So we're going to add some adhesive. And you don't want to put a lot, but we just want to get those on here. And get that lined up. And we've got enough of it. With using the liquid glue, it gives us time to move it. So let's do that. This is such a fun card. I'm going to make a bunch of these. Once you get it down, you're going to find how easy it is. And you'll be making a whole bunch of these. It's just a different way to cut the card, you know. So let's put this one on here. And I turned my cardstock over because you can see where I've cut it. You know how it's down a little bit. All right, and then this one, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. This is our longer piece. And again, you don't need a whole lot of glue. We just want to try to pick this up without getting glue on my fingers. And we're going to lay that right here and just get it to where we've got a nice little border. All right, and then we've got this one here. See how easy and quick this is coming together? So you can knock these out. So if y'all make some of these cards, make sure you post them and share them to the group. I mean, share them to our page, okay? This is fun. I'll make some more, hopefully in this next week. All right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and add this to our front of the card. So I'm going to lay my card down in this shape, and I'm first going to line up how I want my pieces. So I'm going to lay them down here because we've got, right, we want to get them so they're all lined up. So we're going to put our side pieces like that. We want to make sure we get them lined up as the best that we can, right? We'll give it a little bit of space and add a little bit more space there. It depends if you want more space in the center or less space. It's up to you. And then I'm going to add, hold that there. Just want to show you, and then we'll glue these down. Give you an idea of where you want to place your green pieces and how much space you want between your edges. All right, so then this piece will go here. Oops, that one's going to go over here. So you can see how it's going to go. So this one's going to go here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of space there. I'm going to try to line these up. And then this one should go. Now see what I did? I messed this one up again. Oh, no, I didn't. This is right. Nope, yes, I did. This one needs to go. No, that's right. Nope. This one has to go. Hang on. Did I screw this? I did it again. Hang on. That one should go. Yep, I did it again. Because I was supposed to flip this over. See, this one needs to be flipped over so that this is what so don't do what I just did. All right, so this one has to be flipped over with your designer paper. So thank goodness I cut an extra one in case I messed it up, which I did. So we're just going to add this piece right here. Well, you know what? I can't do that. So I'm going to, hang on a minute. Let me try my other piece. This one should work. There we go. So we're just going to add this there, and then that way that's going to work. So make sure you flip one of your pieces over so you don't do what I did. So see, I make mistakes so that y'all don't. There we go. So let's put that on here. I had a feeling I was going to do that. That's why I cut extra pieces. All right, there we go. Whoops, there we go. Let's get that one on there. There we go. All right, so let's put this piece back. But that's okay. All right, now we're going to glue them together. So let's start with our little tiny triangle pieces. So we're going to lay those on here. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of space. I just want to get an idea again of where I want them. So I want them to come up to the top a little bit. And it doesn't have to be exact, you know. I'm going to lay that there so it keeps it flat. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive. Isn't this a fun card? All right, so we're going to lay that here. And I'm going to bring it up to the corner a little bit more. And place that there, and then I'll place the other one right next to it. All right, so hopefully anybody, y'all out there still watching? All right, hopefully we haven't lost y'all. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and place this one down here. And this is the Summer Splash, one of the new color, the in color cardstock with the in color Summer Splash Designer Series paper. And I'm using Pool Party for the card, for the Kite base. I just thought that would be some good, pretty colors to use. All right, so we have that, and then we're just going to bring in, whoops, we're going to bring in our bottom pieces, and we're going to add those. All right. And this one we're going to place right here because that's going to go on this side. And again, I'm going to try to line this towards the bottom, and I want to get it lined up right there. And leave a little space right here, and then we'll do the same thing on this one. So you can see why you need to get it that way. So I'm going to put my glue on this side. So, but that's okay. No one's going to know. Let me get a little dot up there. All right. So we're going to move this around, and we're going to place that right here. And I'm going to give it a little bit of space in between. Kind of adjust it down. There we go. All right, so there's that. So there's our kite. All right, and now we're going to take our inside pieces, and we're going to add these to the inside. I'm going to flip my white. I'm going to bring in my, there we go. I'm going to stamp a couple of flowers like I did on the other card, and I'm going to color those. Let me get my blends. Forgot those as well. Sorry. Let's see, we're going to do that in the Summer Splash, and I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo. So let's, we're going to use our black Memento ink, and then I'm going to take, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I don't want, well, we could do all three. Yeah, I think I'll just stamp all three flowers, and we'll color those. So I'm just going to put it as close to the edge that I can to get all three flowers on here. There we go. We'll leave it like that. All right, and then I'm going to do some coloring. So let's close this back up. And I'm going to come in, and I'm using the Summer Splash Dark Stamp and Blend. And we're going to, I'm just going to color the leaves, which this will be pretty easy to do. These are little tiny leaves. And I'm just going to do the dots on the inside. You probably can't see. So just to get it, all right, and then I'm going to do pool party. I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo on the flowers. So this is obviously going to be for a female, but if you want to do a male, just you can put something different on the inside, or you don't have to put anything at all. But you can write a message here. You can stamp something else if you want. I'm just going to leave that so that I might come back and stamp another sentiment inside and then do my message on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to flip this over so you don't see the marks on my pecan. So let's go ahead and get this glued down. So we'll just add some glue here. Put a little bit in the center. All right, and we're going to add that here. We'll get this lined up. And again, the liquid glue works really well to try to get it so it moves when you want it to move. And you could stamp some other sentiment right here if you chose to do so. I'm going to leave it blank, and then I'll decide how I want to do that later. So now I'm just going to add my adhesive to the outside. And then we're going to place this on the inside of the kite, which is on top of the card, okay? And then we're going to place that right here and get that nice and pointed. So again, write whatever sentiment you want there. All right, so that is going to be the inside of the card. Now I'm going to color my little chipmunk thing or whatever this is, and I'm going to use my light and dark crumb cake, and I'm going to use the Summer Splash blends to color the balloon. So I'm just going to add a little dark right there to give some highlights. And then we'll come in with our light color and just color our balloon and blend those pieces. All right. And then we'll come in with our dark crumb cake. If I can get over here. And I'll get this up here. Let me, whoopsie. All right, so we're going to come in with the dark, and I'm just going to make some little marks where the artist has done the outlining of the fur on this little critter. So I'm just doing the same thing with the dark. And I'm just going to do a little bit around his mouth and his face. So did y'all, who's going to tell me if is this a chipmunk or a hamster? I'd like to know. Oops, I got to do a little bit right here. And then I'm going to do his little ears. Give it some depth. All right. And then we'll come back with the light. Okay, so, all right. Are y'all still there? Still here. Okay, just checking. I haven't seen any responses from anybody, so I just want to make sure. All right, so we're going to cut. Whoops, let me do his little feet. I'm going to do his feet. I'm going to make them dark. His little paw pads. All right, and then we're just going to paint, we're going to color him with a light crumb cake. So I'll just come in with the smaller tip and kind of blend around the pieces that we just colored. And I'm just going to turn it. He's going to be light. I just had to order several, whoopsie, I didn't want to do that. I want to keep that white. I just had to order some blends because I use one half more than the other, right? So I had to order another set. I had to order 3 sets. All right, well, we're going to leave a little bit of white in his little whisker area. So I'll just do lightly. I'm not going to put a light here. Let some shine through and just color this. I'm going to make this a little bit darker down here. I think this one's about to run out. I probably should have just ordered another one. We'll make this a little bit darker. Try to keep his mask a little bit whiter. All right. That's good. Okay, so there's our little critter. All right, so we're going to put him right on the front of the card. Now, I'm going to first, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the front of the card, and then we'll decorate. So I am going to use, I'm going to use my liquid glue, and that way I can make sure that I can get it moved around so it stays in position as needed. All right, and then I'm going to take a little glue dot to hold it down just until, all right, so we're going to put that right there. All right, so far so good. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to put, all right, that's going to stay there. Now we're going to put some dimensionals on here. Whoops, those are baby ones. We don't want babies. Let me get the bigger ones. And then we're going to stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to fussy cut that out. So let me pull in some dimensionals. I'm using my edges, obviously, because we don't want to waste, right? So let's cut this little guy. Hang on a minute. And get him off of there. Oh, he's not cooperating, is he? Whew. There we go. All right, so I'm going to cut part of this. I think I'm going to do that. That's probably all we need. I'll put that on the balloon. Hopefully that's not showing. And then I'll put this on this part of his body. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so I'm going to put him right, hang on, I got to peel off the papers. All right. I'm not sure what that critter is. I don't either. I don't know if it's a chipmunk or if it's a hamster. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. All right, I'm just gonna place him right in the center. Y'all can decorate this how you want, right? Okay, so now I'm coming in with a piece of scrap of basic white, and I'm going to use that sentiment from Cheerful Daisy, wishing you the brightest birthdays. So I'm going to stamp that because the Fluffiest of Friends does not have any sentiments, if you notice that. So we're going to stamp this. Whoops, there goes my fingernail polish. We're going to stamp this, and I'm going to fussy cut this out. So let's go ahead and I'm going to stamp it right about like that. And I'm using the pecan pie. I thought that would be nice to bring in that color. All right, and then we're going to just come in with my paper snips, and I'm just going to cut fussy cut. So I'm just going to come down. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I just want to kind of make it, and then we'll just. It's not going to be a lot of, because this is kind of pretty much like a straight line. But I thought I would go ahead and just kind of fussy cut this a little bit, make it stand out. do something a little bit different with the words. And we'll come over here and get some little twisty doies here and give it a little bit of curvature, and just kind of keep it something different. And then we're just going to come around the Y, cut there, and then I'm going to come in here, and then I'm just going to cut over to the Y and up to the D, and then I'm going to bring it up to the T, to the where the E is, and I'm going to make a sharp line right there so I can get up here and cut that, and then I'm just going to trim this up because that's too much on the top. I don't want that much white. There you go. So that's what we're going to place for our sentiment. So let's get this out of the way, and we're going to put some dimensionals on that, and we're going to pop this up as well. Got some cut. Yeah, here we go. All right, so we're going to put one there, and we're going to put one right here, and we're going to place that down. All right, and then this we're going to place right about there. All right, and then we'll add a little bit of bling, and these are, and I don't know, these may be retired, I don't know. Isn't that sad? Adhesive back solid gems. These are in the in colors that were last year, the pecan pie, boho blue, and the lemon lolly. So they're the same colors. So I've got two little ones here stuck to my finger. So we're going to use these since it's decided it wants to come off on my finger. So I'm going to place, let's see, I'm going to place one right here. I'm going to place another small one down here. They always say you should do things in threes, right? And then I'll take another small one. We're just going to do the little tiny ones. And I'm going to put one right here in the middle of his fingers, like he's it's holding the balloon. All right, so there is our card. Isn't that the cutest little thing? So then you open it up, and you'll have whatever you want here. You can put another, you can stamp another image or write something else. And then this closes up, and open the card, and we'll have our white piece on the inside. All right, so what you can do is place a book or something on here to try to get to hold this down, or you could put a little bit small glue dot right there just to hold it down, and then when they get it, they can, you know, pop it open. But isn't that cute? And it really is an easy card, and then we just open it to our regular card size. So there you go. Isn't that cute? So let me put a little glue dot here just to hold it. We're going to hold it shut for just a minute. Let me grab one, and we'll put that right there. And that's going to hold it down just long enough so it doesn't show open. Get my finger off. Get off my finger. Hang on. Stuck to my finger. All right. There you go. So there is the cards. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed that. You'll have to come back and watch a second time so that you can see, write down the instructions and all of that. And then one last thing I forgot to mention early on, pardon me, is I've been cleaning out my retired products, and I've got 5 mystery boxes. It's on the page for sale, and they've got about $175 plus in retired product, and I have them listed for sale for $100, which includes the priority shipping. And there is a one bundle, there's 2 stamp sets, there's an embossing folder in each box, plus a bunch of paper, other embellishments, little boxes, folders, whatever. So take a look at that. If you're interested, I've got instructions on the page. I hope you enjoyed these cards. If you make some of these, please share. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for spending Friday afternoon with me during your lunch hour. If you're in the Eastern time, I greatly appreciate that as well. And don't forget, we start bonus days on July 3rd. In the meantime, here are my shopping codes for June, and I also have for July right here. All right, everybody, thanks again. I appreciate it. Make sure you share and like this page, and I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye now.